Well, look at that. Huh? Oh, who would have thought? Live from New York, it's your favorite show's favorite show. It's First Things First. Today, are the Kansas City Chiefs clearly the best team? I know you did. You were right about this one. We don't doubt your Chiefs takes.
So what's the question, Wilds?
Are they clearly the best team in the NFL?
The whole NFL, not just the AFC. All of football, obviously yes. What's the weakness? Kicker hasn't missed a kick. They got the youngest defense in football, which also might be the best defense in football.
That's a lot.
The only defense in football that hasn't allowed 21 points all year. They are allowing 15 points per game. They are only getting better. Their biggest free agent acquisition played his first game all year after suspension. He immediately made his voice heard in the sack by Charles Omenihu and Drew Tranquill, a guy they stole from the Chargers to back up Nick Bolton. Bolton unfortunately got hurt. He's going to be out a couple months. He came in, he got a sack as well, and then, of course, there's the offense. The offense that features the greatest tight end of all time, who happens to now also have the added motivation of trying to impress his new girlfriend.
So you think that's a real thing?
Of course it's a real thing. The guy's got all the money,
been there
all the records, all the rings. It's like, how do I stay motivated? What if I'm attempting to date the world's most famous woman and she's coming to all my games, and then I show out? And then there's Patrick Mahomes and the offense that Brew was so worried about. Oh, what about the receiving core? Oh, it doesn't look the same. Well, let's see through 7 weeks how the second most. They are number 2 in passing yards. They're number 1 in touchdowns. They're banging on the door of top 5 in team points per game. And you add to it the fact that those terrifying, high-flying Miami Dolphins, which with future Chief Hall of Famer Tyreek Hill, they stumbled a bit. And now you open up the old USA Today and go to the standings page, and you know what you see atop the AFC? The Kansas City Chiefs, which means, my friends, drop the banner, Dusty. It's back on. 6th Arrowhead Invitational.
I never knew it wasn't on.
Well, they weren't. There was no point of the season until right now, where the number 1 seed, 6-1. So yes, they're the best team. They got the best coach. They got the best quarterback. They might have the best defense. And then what else do you want, Brew?
Well, look, I'm glad you were able to do that.
Well, yeah, really. Me too.
Because you've been in pain, win after win after win since week 1. Yep. And I know you know this, but I'm going to say it it might make you feel good. They are only 1 point, maybe 2 points away from still keeping your 20-0 alive.
I know.
So it's unfortunate.
I know.
But they are playing good football.
A drop away.
I'm going to give you that. But slow your roll.
Why?
Okay, why?
I haven't even sped up.
You're this happy, you're this excited, you're dropping banners because they ran over Brandon Staley and the LA Chargers.
Brew, they've won 6 in a row.
Oh, no, we're talking about yesterday. Because that's what got you all excited, okay?
Yeah.
The Chargers are allowing Kevin Wilds 310 passing yards a game.
Well, it looks like we did 114 above expectation.
No, but you know what that means? When you give up 310 yards a game, it means 2 things. Number 1, you're on pace to be the worst pass defense in the history of football. All right? Number 2, everybody's a Hall of Famer against you.
Okay.
Tua threw for 424, and Mahomes was great. You know I love him. But Tua threw for 466. Ryan Tannehill, heck, Aiden O'Connell, is that his name?
Yeah.
O'Connell, They almost threw for 250 against the Chargers. So can we slow down a little bit?
Okay.
Because you ran over the worst pass defense in football. Now, let me say this, Nick. The Chiefs, who I do like because I love the quarterback, I'm willing to give you this. I'm willing to give you this. They are a top 2 team in the AFC.
Oh, give me a break.
A top 2
You're
team
all of
in
a
the
sudden gonna cape for
AFC. Because
Baltimore.
wise, smart, brilliant people didn't even pick them to reach the Super Bowl. They picked Baltimore, or I should say I picked Baltimore, and they looked lovely
You think
yesterday.
Baltimore's better than Kansas City?
I think there are 4 teams on the top tier of the NFL. Kansas City, Baltimore,
right
San
there.
Francisco, and Philadelphia.
Where's my USA Today when I need it? Yeah.
He gave you a big softball, and you just missed it.
I'm not
You
here.
won't say
I'm
it.
not here for kicks and giggles.
Bro.
I'm not here just to
won't
make a
say it.
hot take. I'm here to be truthful.
Who's the best
And
team?
Well, we will find
Can I
out
just-
soon enough.
Okay.
Bro,
But
you
I'll
just
tell you
missed it.
this. You talked about their defense giving up 15 points. I think Baltimore's giving up 14.
Okay,
Yeah,
here's the other. Can I give you a take? We should have talked about this pregame. If you weren't upstairs, ensconced away, you don't like to talk to me just because I want to talk about the
I keep
Patriots.
it to myself.
How did Detroit do against the Chiefs?
I had that in my notes. And I had Wild.
Okay, I was
That's
waiting
right.
for it.
I was going to appeal to your sense of fairness because Nick, I know, is all emotional and all that. But the team that beat your boys
Here we go.
and ruined your tattoo and all that, never a doubt.
Tattoo still looks good.
I mean, look, it wasn't even close.
Wasn't close.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't
That might
even
be the best
close.
win in football this year, and we'll talk about the Ravens later.
That's right. So I didn't want to, but yes,
here's
Wild,
the thing.
Thank you.
No,
I don't want to get caught up in eye test, even though I like the eye test. I want to get caught up in facts.
Okay,
and the fact is, the Lions beat the Chiefs, and the Ravens destroyed the Lions.
If you want to do facts and do all that, you said in your 4 best teams little bracket, 3 teams that have 1 loss, and your Baltimore Ravens that has 2. But again, it's not the standings. I understand that. I just want to ask Brew one question before we move, or before you go, Wild.
Sure.
Are the Chiefs still taking Patrick Mahomes for granted? Do they still have to go get another receiver? Or
Well, they did listen to me and add McCall Hardman.
Okay.
Had a nice was that a punt return?
No,
I
it
think?
was great job on the punt return. 9 guys have caught
again,
touchdowns, 15 guys have caught passes. I think the passing game's going to be fine like it always was. And Rashee Rice, Brew, be honest,
all right.
he can do what
we did
Juju
have an
did last
MVS
year.
sighting.
Yeah,
I give
and
you that.
MVS
And
can
Rashee
do
was
what
okay.
MVS did.
But Wiles, what did I say about the Chargers? Everyone's a Hall of Famer, not just the quarterbacks, the receivers too.
You said
I mean,
a lot.
do it against a good team.
You say a
do
best
it
team
against
in
a
the
good
NFL.
defense.
I didn't hear you say a best team in the NFL. I
Chiefs
didn't
go to
hear
Denver
that.
next week.
I
Meanwhile,
got Baltimore and Philly.
okay. Are you surprised the Eagles handled the Dolphins so easily?
No.
I mean,
No, 1,000 times no. All right? I knew this was coming. Okay? Who did I pick to not only reach the Super Bowl, but win the Super Bowl?
The Eagles.
Philadelphia over Baltimore.
Yes.
So I'm looking real good right
but
I should have had
just
the
real quick,
sunglasses on just like you.
Last week, were you predicting a Philly blowout?
I was predicting a Philly win.
Okay.
I don't remember if I
All
said blowout. I don't think we did that one on
Okay,
here.
sure. Go
But
ahead.
anyway,
Maybe on the odd
here's
couple,
why,
7 to 10,
here's
Fox
why I'm
Sports
not
Radio.
surprised.
Yeah.
Because the Philadelphia Eagles are the baddest brothers on the block.
Oh.
They are. It's some other rough and tumble teams out there. All right, the whole AFC North, San Francisco. There's some tough teams. But if I had to take my pick, I would say the Eagles are the toughest. Miami, not so much. Miami's cute.
oh,
Miami's fun. They're happy-go-lucky. You know what Miami is? And you are like this because you're a big hip-hop aficionado. Miami is that team that when there's beef, when we got issues, they want to break dance. They will let's settle it with some pop
before my
locking and
time.
spin. Who got the
record.
best
I didn't
kick
know.
worm and backspin and all that? The Eagles are like, man, forget that.
Yeah.
Let's get it on. All right? Let's knuckle up. And when this is football, this ain't basketball.
Yeah, no,
this
we
ain't
know.
baseball.
Yeah.
This is a collision sport.
Yeah.
And in a collision sport, give me the team that is the toughest.
Sure.
And that's the Philadelphia Eagles, who also got great skill position players
Yep.
on top of that. So, no, I'm not surprised in the least.
All right, so I maybe wouldn't have gone to that specific analogy, but
like
that's
it,
why
though.
Brew
You know
is
what's
a
right
better
on the money,
performer
though.
than I am.
I liked it.
Yeah, they've prioritized their front in a way I've never seen. They have seven first-round picks on their defensive line.
Pretty good.
You only play 4
Right.
at a time. They got 7 in their D-line rotation. 6 are their own, and then the 7th is Hassan Reddick, a first-round pick for Arizona that they brought over. They have an excellent roster, obviously. They spent a first-round pick on Devontae Smith, spent another first-round pick on A.J. Brown, who is quietly, I think, entering the most underrated player discussion, because when we talk about the best receivers in football, he always seems to be brought up in like the second group.
Yeah,
and I don't think he's Tyreek. I don't think he's Justin Jefferson. But I think after those two guys, he's right there along with Jamar or anybody else. So here is, right now, the harsh reality about Philadelphia. They need more from their quarterback. They
Even
need
after
more
yesterday?
from. You mean yesterday when he threw the pick six, and yesterday
Kind of fluky
and
pick
yesterday
six.
when he had right now everybody likes Jalen, the person. Everybody has massive respect for his career arc. Wilds. What is true is they paid him off his MVP season, and he's looked nothing like that player this year.
Yeah, so what?
Nothing like it.
So last year, Brew, 18 games, including the playoffs, 6 interceptions. This year, 7 games, 8 interceptions, 2 lost fumbles.
He's got, what, 2 more interceptions than Patrick Mahomes?
No,
I mean, come on.
Wait,
Look,
hold on
the
a
3
second.
interceptions again last week.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
5
not, you can't
turnovers in the
take
last 2
away
weeks.
one game. I get it.
No.
But let me, I don't know if we have the graphic. He threw some
No,
dimes
absolutely.
yesterday.
No. He threw some
This
dimes.
look, this one, I mean, my goodness.
That's
It
all
was
true.
like he went and handed the ball to A.J. Brown. There was only one place to throw it, too.
That's all true, but what's
Nobody
also
can make a
true
better
is
throw.
that because his passing yardage numbers are not up there with the other quarterbacks that we consider top flight quarterbacks, he needs to have the interceptions be lower.
Yeah.
If a guy is 300 yards per game passing, you can deal with a few more mistakes. His thing was the ball security, and I don't think he's totally right. I think that they are
just injured?
Yeah, clearly. I mean, you saw him running on that one scramble. He was limping.
Yeah, he's
and
not
I mean,
running
they call the offense as if he's a rental and not a long-term part of their team, but he obviously is. He needs to play a little better. If he plays close to as well as he played last year, they are the best team in the league. Right now, Brew, would you not agree that right now that's their biggest weakness?
I wouldn't call it a weakness.
Well,
I wouldn't call it a weakness. He can play better.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
He needs to play
yesterday, and look, it is what it is. Every quarterback can probably point to something like this. And he threw it into the defender, so it was tipped. But I thought the pick six was a tad fluky. I don't think that's going to happen regularly.
Throw it through a man.
But every quarterback gets passes tipped at the line of scrimmage.
That wasn't really tipped.
Yeah.
It was kind of like.
I mean, that was a bad throw.
I thought he played well yesterday. I thought he played well yesterday.
When they lose, we know why they're going to lose.
Because of him?
He's going to fumble the ball or throw an interception.
I mean, the fumble was just like the one in the Super Bowl, Brew.
Yeah, it's just kind of a.
I'm not worried about this quarterback.
Okay.
I'm not worried.
He's going to look and see at the film what the problem is.
It's Jimmy G, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen,
Jimmy
interceptions.
G.
Yeah, Mac Jones
leaders
right there.
No, Mac Jones is
one less.
An eighth down.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. My apologies. This is the Mac Jones day. I should be
what are we doing? Take shots at Mac Jones? I don't know. You see that? You want to talk Patriots?
We'll do that
on
later.
the Patriots?
No, not right now.
Okay,
Let's
we'll
talk
still
about
the
this.
Eagles win. I mean, Dusty.
Yeah, that guy's so. I mean, I'm happy for him, and his histrionics yesterday, like they won, and but he's a little annoying. But go ahead.
Where's the camera?
Yeah,
right in front of me.
Yeah.
Bro, what was your reaction?
I'm fine with it. And it probably will get banned.
Yes.
All right. And a lot of teams do it. If you look at the percentages, a lot of teams have success. Nobody quite like the Eagles, who do it more than anybody. But we've seen the past several weeks a lot of teams trying to do it
fail.
and not having success. So
that's not going to work. 8. That's not going to work. They got to come up with a better plan.
This is what I'm talking about, though, with them being so tough. And I think Sirianni, in that clip, we didn't show it, he also said the psychological advantage for his team is that when we get a first down, it's 1st and 9.
And it might be 1st and 8.5.
Right. But I think there's a psychological impact on the opponent as well. Because when another team lines up like this, there's no deception. You know exactly what we're doing. Stop it. And you can't. that can have an impact on your psyche the rest of the game. So I love it. It may get banned, but until it is, they're going to keep running over teams like
listen,
this.
it has an impact not only on your psyche, but on your play calling defensively. On 3rd and 10, you shouldn't be playing the sticks. You got to be playing 2 yards short of the sticks. Because if they get it to 4th and less than 2, they're going for it. Brew is as conservative as Dick Cheney when it comes to play calling in the NFL. Like yet, you were totally fine with him going for that 4th down, weren't you?
Totally
yes,
fine.
because they have this cheat code.
It.
So here's the thing, Wilds. This is a clear-cut, no doubt Category 2 opinion of mine. Eventually correct. They're going to ban it. And they're going to say it's for health and safety, but it's really because that plays ugly as sin. That's why. You just saw it. The thing the Eagles have going best for them is that they're not even better at it. If they were 1 yard better at it, they'd ban it midseason. If they could get 3 yards on that play, and it's like, oh, they have a lead with 7 minutes left. Guess what, guys? Brotherly shove until the clock is expired, they'd ban it midseason. You tweeted.
I'm not convinced they can't get 3 yards on
so
it.
You think that they should intentionally screw it up a few times.
I think they're going to.
Just so the league,
they
don't ban it.
When they're up, and I also think they're going to eventually, one of these ones, Jalen's going to roll out.
Well, they
and
did
throw
that
for a
on
touchdown.
Sunday Night Football. They did that at a nationally televised game that they were blowing someone out. I don't remember what it was.
That they rolled out and threw it?
And the announcer was like, I maybe would have kept that in the bag.
I think if one team, in this case the Eagles, can do it really well and no other team has this type of success, I don't necessarily think you should ban it if that's
I'm not saying, listen.
If every team was doing it this easily, it would be like,
I agree it would be somewhat unfair, but they're going to ban it. It is, there's no excitement. There is no aesthetic value.
I don't mind it.
That's because you picked the Eagles to make the Super Bowl.
And we think
but when
other
teams are trying it and failing, that does make it a little more exciting.
I get that. I'm just telling you, fair or not, they're banning. They're getting. And I'm very curious, Jalen playing with a knee brace, how he feels about this being such a huge part of their offense.
All right, quickly, Dolphins now 5-2 with the loss. The Dolphins are 5-0 against teams with a combined 8-25 record, 0-2 against the 10-4 Bills and Eagles. Buffalo and Philadelphia combined have beaten Miami by 42 points. Yeah. It's time for the real Dolphins to stand up. So are the Dolphins overrated?
Well, if you think that they are at the top of the AFC or close to it, then yes, they're overrated. No, listen, their wins have come against, to Peter's point, teams that would have the following picks in the upcoming year's draft: the 1st, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and the 9th. And Tua, unfortunately, in the 2 games against, playoff caliber opponents, we can show you the numbers, has been awful. Awful's, you know what, that's not fair. He hasn't been awful. But he is lighting the world on fire in the other games, and he's been mediocre in those games. So here's where I stand, Brew. I think they are a Tier 3 AFC team. I think Kansas City is by itself atop. I think Baltimore and Jacksonville are in the 2nd tier.
Okay.
I know you guys.
Tiers are way off.
Okay, well, listen, that's fine. We can argue about the Jags another time. They're 5-2. They have the 2nd longest winning streak in football. They beat the Bills, who you guys like so much.
They're barely over 500 in America.
They're okay. Once they start seeding the playoffs by record in America, maybe that'll matter. But I think Miami is right with Buffalo and Pittsburgh in that next grouping of AFC teams. And, Brew, I think they need home field advantage. I don't think this team can play in the cold. I don't. And I think that if you have the AFC North teams are in the cold, Kansas City's in the cold. Mm-hmm. So I think that they are not quite as good as people thought they were.
Yeah, look, I think they're overrated because, as you said, even in the tiers, I think you had them right. You had Kansas City, and then the Dolphins,
on the Greg Jennings
and
line. Yeah.
I don't
Good
remember
to look
who was
at.
next door. The Lions. So those were the second tier NFL. And then other people were thinking they might be the best team in the AFC, the best team in the league. That, by that measure, they're overrated. I think they're a Tier 2 NFL team. Like I said, to me, Tier 1
you got
is
4
Kansas City and Baltimore, and then San Francisco and Philly. And then I put Miami on that next tier. But the problem for them is I don't think what ails them is fixable this year. They're not tough enough. And I'm not saying they're wimps, but the teams that are at the top, even Kansas City's defense now is legit, as you've said. Miami allows 26 points a game. That's bottom 6 in the league. All right? And if you look at it, you mentioned Tua and how he's played against the good teams or his bad teams.
Buffalo and Philly.
But if you really look at their schedule, and I'm not trying to like disparage them, but they've got one game that was super duper impressive. I mean, look, obviously that's the 70 points. But outside of that, they beat the Chargers by 2. Chargers are 2-4, and they were up 34-30 on Miami with 2 minutes left in the game. They beat the Patriots.
It was close.
But it was I mean, they had control, but they only won by a touchdown. And then the Giants and the winless Carolina Panthers. Yeah. And then the 2 teams they faced that are good, they got demolished. So they're a little bit overrated because of that 70 piece that skews all their statistics.
Tyreek is such a highlight machine that every time he's on the field, it's like, how does anyone ever stop him?
Yeah, he's not overrated. That dude
he might be
still
underrated.
phenomenal.
They host the Patriots next week. Could get ugly.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.